Hello, 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 my amigos. Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of the show with no name, and we are rocking right into 2024. And folks, I need your help. We are about to count down because it's time
10,
for
9, 8,
liftoff.
7,
Come on,
6,
folks. Let's do
5,
this.
4,
3,
3,
2,
2,
come on.
1, 0.
We've got it.
Ignition.
Come on.
Liftoff.
Get up there.
Liftoff. 30 minutes after the hour.
We need a little extra energy, I think. There it is. It's like thunder, lightning.
Get ready. Hold on to your hat.
yeah.
Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hat. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time on Vaughn Radio. It's a show with no name. On Vaughn Radio. It's the show. Let's go.
Hello, amigos. We're bringing the thunder. Bring the thunder. Welcome to the show with no name. It's electric, it's exciting, it's interactive, it's informative, and it's here every day for you to learn English and explore. Welcome aboard Show with No Namers. We have got an amazing program lined up for you today. Oh, I am psyched. Motivado. A nice round of applause for all our Show with No Namers before we kick off. Keep up the great work. We have kicked off the year in style, amigos. On the right foot. So I'm here to cheer you on. Animarte. Keep it up. This is the show with no name, and we came to play, to explore, to learn, and to laugh, my amigos. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to rock and roll today. I hope you're ready. Stop making resolutions and start making progress with your English in the new year. We've got something for everyone under the every level, every age, every budget. Grupo Vaughn has got you covered no matter what you're looking for, whether it be master's courses, group or one-to-one classes, either online or in person. Vaughntown, a true immersion experience. Disney English and Vaughn Jr. for the kids. Oxford Test of English. Camps for kids of all ages. Online courses. And a wealth of other resources at vaughntienda.com. Stop by one of our centers for a free level test or a sample class from one of our top teachers. Why wait? There's no time like the present. Start the year off on the right foot. You can contact us at our website, grupovaughn.com, or give us a call at 911-385831. And make sure you're following us on social media. Let's get going. Pongámonos en marcha. You ready? Pop quiz. All right. I can hear you now. I promised. I can feel you. I don't know if I can hear you,
Pop quiz.
but I can feel you.
Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz.
That's right, amigos. It is our pop quiz here on the show with no name. And as always, we are going to take a look at some resources from the Vaughn world. Today, we are going to take a look at a material by my amiga, Ximena Holiday. She is an awesome person. And she has written, o te doy otra forma de decirlo, she has penned so many books. I'm telling you guys, so many of the books. You should ask her one day on her program. The good news is her program is right after this program. It's called Test Your English, and she puts Nacho and you to the test every single day. Well, this is just one of the many materials that our friend Ximena Holiday has provided. It's called Expresiones en Inglés que deberías conocer. Expresiones en Inglés que deberías conocer. It's part of our que deberías conocer collection. I recommend you get the whole thing. Each one's under $10, menos que 10 pavos. And you've got expresiones en inglés que deberías conocer, which is the one we're going to look at today. Then you've got phrasal verbs que deberías conocer. All of these are available at the Vaughn Tienda, vaughntienda.com. You've also got vocabulario en inglés que deberías conocer. You've got false friends en inglés que deberías conocer. Verbos irregulares en inglés que deberías conocer. So the good news about each one of those is they're under $10. And the one we're going to look at today, expresiones en inglés que deberías conocer, again, available at the Vaughn Tienda, vaughntienda.com, or wherever fine books are sold. I love that expression. Well, it's one I've been hearing all my life, wherever fine books are sold. You know, so they have it's available at Barnes & Noble and wherever fine books are sold. Es una de esas frases hechas de marketing. So, how many expressions do you think there are in this book? Expresiones en inglés, with audio, by the way, over 6 hours of audio. We're going to hear just a little clip right now from one of them. But can you believe that? 6 hours of audio where you can hear the expressions in context, which is really important because you guys should be able to repeat them aloud, repetirlas en voz alta, right? All right, so guess how many expressions there are? Did you say 500? Nope. Did you say 700? No. There are 1,000 expressions. 1,000, folks. No less than 1,000 expressions in expresiones en inglés que deberías conocer. It's under $10. So do the math. Per expression. 10 por mil. Well, what is that, 100? What is it, a euro per expression? No, not a euro per expression. 1 cent. Un céntimo. There you're seeing my math skills. Or lack thereof, como decimos. Apúntate esa. Or lack thereof significa o carencia de. Right? A veces lo usamos con paciencia. I don't have, you're testing my patience, or lack thereof, or carencia de. So this is that's one of the many expressions you can find in this book, Expresiones en Inglés. But we're going to listen to an audio clip now. And as always, I want you guys to listen carefully. This is a short one over here, but I'm going to have a mission for you. I always have something for you to do afterwards. So everybody pay close attention to this audio clip from Expresiones en Inglés que deberías conocer.
As fast as lightning. As quick as lightning. Lightning fast.
Rápido como un relámpago. De manera súper rápida. Y rápido como un relámpago, ella salió de la casa y corrió a coger autobús.
And as fast as lightning, she was out of the house and running for the bus.
¡Asombroso! ¡Qué rápido! ¿Cómo lo has hecho?
Amazing! That was lightning fast. How did you do it?
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. A nice round of applause for Carmen and Ximena, two lovely ladies I have the pleasure of working with. Oh, yeah. And folks, just a quick reminder, if you haven't listened to our new shows, they are off the hook, off the chain. Dos formas de decir la bomba. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Vaughn Radio proudly presents two brand spanking new shows. You can join Ruby every weekday on her program Speak Up from 3 to 4 p.m. Speak Up is for students who are just getting started and superstars who want to go over the basics. Let Ruby guide you through the English experience on her new program, Speak Up, on Vaughn Radio from 3 to 4 p.m. And Frankly Speaking, hosted by Chris. This program will be on every evening from 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And in Frankly Speaking, Chris Frank will make you feel like you were at the restaurant or bar with him in a totally native conversation. Learn English as you have fun with Frankly Speaking. So make sure you check out our two latest programs. You're going to love them. Frankly Speaking with Chris from 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. and Speak Up with Ruby from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. I have a feeling, I have a hunch you're going to love these new programs. Exclusively on Vaughn Radio. Don't miss them. That's right, folks. Brand new programs. They just started I'd say a couple months ago, and they are amazing programs. We've got Speak Up with Ruby, and then we've got our other latest program. So one of them is at 3. That's Speak Up with Ruby. And then at 7, you've got Chris with Frankly Speaking. It's right at 7 or 7:30. See, I can't remember. Well, either way, download the Vaughn Radio app, and you'll never, ever miss a beat. Ooh, what's going on? Well, our friend Ximena and Carmen, our friends, we're talking about lightning, right? As fast as lightning. Or as Ximena said, as fast as lightning. They are as fast as lightning. I love that British pronunciation, by the way. All right, well, what do I have for you? I've got a challenge. We're going to take a look at 3 idiomatic expressions that have to do with weather. See, guys, I was foreshadowing. To foreshadow is dar indicaciones de lo que viene. I was foreshadowing when I told you it's like thunder, lightning. The way you love me, it's frightening. You better knock on wood, baby. You know me, there is a method to my madness. All right. Maybe I'm exaggerating just a little bit. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. I don't know. Oh, my God. That's a different kind of that's a different storm. Do you know that expression? A shit storm. I'm so mature. A shit storm. Una tormenta de mierda. Te tengo que explicar lo que es? Man, you know what's going on in Gaza? In the Gaza Strip? That's a freaking shit storm. Es una tormenta de mierda, we say. But that's not the expression we're going to look at today. Oh, man, enough, Alberto. I'm talking to myself. The inner child in me. It's not really mature, buddy. All right. So what I need you guys to do is to take a look at these three expressions and fill in the blank. And I want you to use, not just fill in the blank, but I also want you to use them in context. Because if you use them in context, then I'll know that you really, really get them. So the first one I want you to give me is a blank in a teacup. Okay? A blank in a teacup is the idiomatic expression. So, algo en una taza de té. And that really literally means you're being too dramatic over something simple. First world problems, right? You're making a mountain of a molehill. Hacer una montaña de un grano de arena. You're making a big deal out of nothing. But there's another way to say it, algo con tormentas, ya que estábamos mirando el tiempo. Remember, you have two ways that you can ask. What's the weather like? Or how's the weather? What's the weather like? Or how's the weather? Okay, don't mix them. How's the weather like? We usually don't say. It's what's the weather like? Or how's the weather? So the first one, we're looking for the blank there. And if you could give it to us in context, excellent. It's when you make a big deal out of nothing. It's called a in a teacup. The next one means to survive or overcome or endure a difficult experience. Okay? To go through and come out alive. And there, the blank is to the storm. To the storm. What is the verb we are looking for there? And it means to survive, to endure a tough situation and come out on the other side unscathed. Unscathed, scathed is ileso, sin heridas, unscathed. Okay, in Spanish you say capear el temporal. And the last one, he stole my Okay, and this is another, again, one thing that they all have in context is they all have to do with weather. Okay? So this last one is, he stole my and this is to take attention away from somebody. Robarle protagonismo, you say. Right? Robarle protagonismo a alguien. All right? I'll go over them one more time just in case. All right? The first one is, you're making a mountain out of a molehill. You're making a big deal out of nothing. And it's called a in a teacup. The second idiomatic expression that has to do with weather in today's pop quiz is, it was a difficult situation, but you managed to the storm. To the storm. What is the missing word? And then, as always, give it to us in context. It's always the best way. And the last one, quitarle protagonismo a alguien, is to steal somebody's el protagonismo, el crédito. All right, amigos. And in the meantime, let's take a look at the Say What soundbite. Say what? What? What soundbite? It's the Say What soundbite. Say What soundbite? It's the Say What soundbite. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, amigos, Say What soundbite. This is where you hear all different accents from all around the world. Sometimes we hear Australian, sometimes we hear Liverpool, sometimes we hear Scottish, sometimes we hear people from New York, other times we hear people from Boston, and other times we hear people from Chicago. And then other times we hear people from the deep south of the United States of America. I love doing accents, I gotta tell you. But I gotta tell you another thing. You're laughing at me because you're thinking, hey, that's really funny, boy. But I'm gonna tell you something. The more you can imitate an accent, the better it is when you're learning a language, man. Woo. Don't you realize the better you can imitate somebody, the more natural you can sound in another language, even if that doesn't sound natural to you. Yes, you understand? You follow me? Yes. See, it's about imitation. And nobody knows more about imitation than my daughter Lara. I went from a southern redneck to a very posh British. Well, of course, we love to have tea. I heard somebody say something about a teacup before. I never miss tea. Yes. Okay, I know it's a little bit stereotypical, but I prefer to overdo it than to come up short. All right, amigos, today's Say What soundbite. As always, you are going to hear a famous person speaking. Let's give it a listen over here. This is the first listen. What I want you to do is write down as much as you possibly can. And then I'd like you to give me a synopsis in your best English, in your own words. Odio esa expresión, by the way. In your own words. ¿De quién? Voy a usar las palabras de Laura. O voy a usar las palabras de Cristina. You know, come on, seriously. Whose words are there? I mean, what do you mean? Unless you say, and I quote. And then obviously you're quoting somebody. Oh, man, that really grinds my gears. To grind your gears, me saca de quicio. It grinds my gears, que literalmente es lo que pasa cuando no cambias de marcha bien. No haces... Y haces ese sonido cuando cambias de marcha. That's to grind your gears. But when we're not in a car, we usually mean that really pisses me off. It really gets under my skin. I just gave you 3 different ways to say it. All right, well, folks, here's your Say What soundbite for the first time.
It's like, what year is this? Here we go again, because we can. Love can build a bridge. Like Dolly told me she's written about 1,000 songs. I've written 9 in my whole life. And I'm very blessed, very lucky that all of them were either number ones or at least an album cut.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, maybe I was doing a southern accent for a reason. Did anybody hear a little twang in there? I could swear I heard a little twang. Somebody from the South, perhaps a Southern belle. Well, either way, we're going to check that out right after this quick commercial break. So, yeah! Can you guys imitate that Southern accent, that Southern twang? Hey, try it with me. Let's do it together. How y'all doing? Say it. How y'all, como vais? How y'all doing? It's great to see you. Well, I sure hope you're going to join us after this quick. But the quick, they kind of extend their syllables. After this quick commercial break, we're going to be back. We're going to have tons of fun. We're going to laugh. It's going to be a real hoot and holler. Hee-haw! All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know how this works. We are going to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with tons more show with no name. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. I promise I'm going to stop this southern twang sooner or later. Hey, I love doing accents. I've been imitating people since I was a little kid. Man, since far back as I can remember, I've been imitating people. I think one of the first people I ever imitated was those televangelists. You know the ones I'm talking about, the preachers on TV. And the Lord said unto Isaiah, go forth. And then he said to Noah, build that ark, because I am going to flood the earth. And you must repent, ladies and gentlemen, because the love of the Lord is deep inside of you. It's deep inside of you. I remember they used to get so overexcited about it. Of course, they're salesmen. They might be selling God, but they're all driving around with Rolls Royces, at least in my country. But the South is also where you have the Bible Belt. What is the Bible Belt? Well, the Bible Belt is a southern region in the United States. It's Georgia. I think it's part of South Carolina, a little bit of the panhandle of Florida. It's a really religious area in my country, ladies and gentlemen. Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughntown, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughntown, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to groupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughntown. That's right, folks. More information about Vaughntown, residentials, or any of our programs over at our website. It's groupovaughn.com. Also, make sure you are following us on social media, and you'll find out about all kinds of special deals, deals on courses, and also special deals on resources, books, materials, self-study courses, a little bit of everything. All right, well, folks, let's kick off the second part with the Say What soundbite. This is the second listen. Please write down what you hear.
It's like, what year is this? Here we go again, because we can. Love can build a bridge. Like Dolly told me, she's written about 1,000 songs. I've written 9 in my whole life. And I'm very blessed, very lucky that all of them were either number ones or at least an album cut.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the second listen of today's Say What soundbite. I mean, I think I'm kind of giving you the very clear hint there. Wink, wink. It's a southern accent, right? I mean, you could tell she and I, we don't speak the same, not even the same speed, not even the same pronunciation, right? Are you imitating me? I hope you're imitating me. Normally somebody says, you imitating me? You mocking me? You making fun of me? I want you to do it. I want you to do it because then I know that you got a good ear and you can replicate those sounds. All right. So let me give you the Say What soundbite for the third time.
It's like, what year is this? Here we go again, because we can. Love can build a bridge. Like Dolly told me, she's written about 1,000 songs. I've written 9 in my whole life. And I'm very blessed, very lucky that all of them were either number ones or at least an album cut.
All right, amigos. All right. Let's take a look at our pop quiz today. We'll see what you guys came up with. I see a lot of people figuring it out, so let's get a nice round of applause. Show with no namers. The first one was a storm in a teacup. You say something, bueno, según esto, una tormenta en un vaso de agua. Just think the British like tea. But supposedly they say a teapot. Now we say in the States, a storm in a teacup. So una tormenta en una taza de té. O sea, que no es una tormenta, es alguien lo está removiendo. You know, you're making a big, somebody's stirring it. Acuérdate, false friend. Remove, quitar. Stir, remover. Little darling, stir it up. Bob Marley. My daughter loves Bob Marley. She's learning from him every day, and we dance at the same time. So we're working on our English, and we're working on staying in shape. Hey, got to keep those New Year's resolutions going. I ate way too much during the holiday season. I overdid it, or as my wife literally translates, I passed 3 towns. Me pasaste 3 pueblos. I overdid it. So this is just a storm in a teacup. Que no es gran cosa. Estás haciendo, you know, you're making a big deal out of nothing. You're making a mountain of a molehill. Okay, so a storm in a teacup. The second one was to weather the storm. And there's a homophone for you, a good way to remember it. I don't know whether we'll... It's also a tongue twister. I don't know whether we'll weather the storm. I don't know whether, no sé si, we'll weather the storm. Es un verbo regular. We weathered the storm. And the last one, he stole my thunder. To steal somebody's thunder, to steal the spotlight, right? Robar el protagonismo o el mérito. To take the attention away from somebody or protagonism. You can steal somebody's thunder. So let me explain this though. But if you say spotlight, el foco, you don't say you stole my spotlight. Sería, he stole the spotlight, like my daughter at her Christmas play. She stole the spotlight. She stole the show. Pero si lo quitas de otra persona, eso es que triunfó, ¿no? Lo hizo genial. But if she steals somebody's thunder, eso es que has cogido el mérito, has cogido el protagonismo a coste de otra persona. And that's never the case with you guys. Excellent job. You are bringing the thunder today, my amigos. Let's see how you do in today's Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
That's right, amigos. That's right. It is our Spelling Bee here on the show with no name. And as always, this is a section which is usually more challenging than the other sections. Obviously, it depends on the day. There are days that the Say What soundbite is mind-blowingly difficult. And I know. But remember this. The harder it is here, the easier it's going to be there. In England, in Australia, you know, the more I expose you to different accents and different vocabulary and idiomatic expressions, well, the better you're going to be, A, at understanding what people are saying, and B, being able to express yourself. Because if you break it down, si lo desglosamos en lo más básico, what is communication? What is it? Communication is, do you understand me? Do I understand you? Then we're communicating. Now, the moment one is not understanding the other, even if you're speaking the same language. We know we've all had this conversation. You're like, but that's not what I'm arguing. There are some people who are professional changers of subjects. Cambio de tema y aunque él está discutiendo esto, yo voy a discutir lo otro. That's another story. Eso ya es otra cosa. That's hard to defend in your own language. But guys, keep up the great work. If you are surrounding yourself with English every single day, you are definitely going to improve. There is no doubt in my mind. All right, well, here we go with today's Spelling Bee. This is round one. This is our lightning round here. And we'll see how you guys do on our lightning round. Now, this is the round where I fly through it. So everybody buckle up, poner esos cinturones, because we are going for a ride here. The first one is everybody ready? Oh, and let's, for the sake of simplicity, what we're going to do is we're going to capitalize the first letter of every word. All right, is everybody ready? The first one is COLORADO space RIVER. The second one is WONDERS space WORLD. The third one is CONINO. The fourth one is MOHAVE. The fifth one, WORLD space HERITAGE space, I've got to breathe here, SITE. And the last one is a date. It's February 26th, 2019. And here's a little clue. This enormous ancient gorge is as iconic as it gets. The bountiful, breathtaking behemoth has been inhabited by tribes for over 12,000 years. It's still a sacred place, nestled in the southwest of the United States, straddling over 440 kilometers in length and 30 kilometers in width. People who have journeyed there have been left in awe by its jaw-dropping size. Not to mention the wealth of wildlife, fauna, and activities available at your fingertips. All aboard the Grand Canyon Express. We'll take a gander at the gargantuan Grand Canyon on this week's episode of FYI. Welcome to For Your Info.
Inglés.
You got it. All right, so it's obviously got something to do with the Grand Canyon. You call it El Cañón de Colorado. We call it the Grand Canyon. Excuse me. It must be my allergies with so much wildlife and fauna down here in the canyon. Well, I think my allergies are acting up. Do you know this expression? My allergies are acting up. Se están portando mal. Que están, I don't know, activándose? How would you say? My allergies are acting up, but also a kid can act up. I told you not to act up. Comportarse mal. I don't know if it's the same meaning there. Well, either way, folks, we are talking about the Grand Canyon. Remember, there's an FYI episode on the Grand Canyon. Well, two, as always, but there's only one that's available to the general public. The other one is available exclusively to people in my curious community. All right, let's go with round two of today's Spelling Bee. The first word is COLORADO space RIVER. The second one is WONDERS space W-O-R-L-D. The third one is C-O-C-O-N-I-N-O. The fourth one, M-O-H-A-V-E. The fifth one is W-O-R-L-D space H-E-R-I-T-A-G-E space S-I-T-E. And the last one is a date, and that date is February 26th, 2019. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. These are all words that are associated with the creation of the Grand Canyon National Monument, which was created on this day in history in 1908, my amigos. And if you haven't listened to that episode on the Grand Canyon, you're going to love it. Some of you who told me that they had been there said, Alberto, it was so amazing because you took me back. And people who hadn't been there said, Alberto, you really made me want to go to the Grand Canyon. So let's take a look at these words in today's Spelling Bee. The first word is the Colorado River. That's why you call it El Cañón de Colorado, aunque está en Arizona, right? It's in Arizona, but the river that runs through the canyon and that created the canyon is the Colorado River. All right? The second one, I gave you Wonders World, para omitir el of the, but it is one of the wonders of the world, the natural wonders of the world. And don't forget, there's an FYI episode on the 7 wonders of the world as well. The third one is Coconino. And what is Coconino? Well, it's a chocolate drink. No, I'm just kidding. It's not a chocolate drink. It sounds like it. Coconino. Well, Coconino and Mojave are the counties, los condados, where this amazing gorge, otra forma de decir cañón, where this amazing gorge is located. Number 4 on our list. Oh, no. Well, number 4. So number 3 and number 4 were the counties, Coconino and Mojave. The fifth one is World Heritage Site. And a World Heritage Site is Patrimonio Nacional, if I'm not mistaken, o Mundial. World Heritage. Cuidado, no es heritage, sino heritage. It is a World Heritage Site. Okay, un sitio de patrimonio, a World Heritage Site over there. And that it was declared that in 1979. So it took a long time because it was created today in 1908, but it didn't become a World Heritage Site until 1979. And the last date I gave you, la fecha, was February 26th, 2019. And anybody who's good at math, that's not me, will know that that is the 100th anniversary of the Grand Canyon. If you guys haven't been there, you should check it out. I know many of you have been there in the movies. Name that movie. That's right, amigos. It's Name That Movie for all you movie buffs out there. I hope you guys watched a lot of movies during the Christmas break. I know I watched a few more than I usually get to watch. All right, let's take a look over here and see what we've got. Here's a little synopsis for you. A swinger on the cusp of being a senior citizen with a taste for you. ¿Qué pasa con las comas? Seriously, guys, you guys call yourselves script writers? Es que a veces que digo, ¿quién no ha puesto la coma y que le voy a matar? I don't know where to breathe. So, A swinger on the cusp of being a senior citizen, comma, with a taste for young women, comma, falls in love with an accomplished woman closer to his age. No es fácil decir para nada. A swinger is somebody who, sleeps with other people other than their partner, right? Swingers, you use the word in Spanish. Swinger es un club de alternos, swingers club. On the cusp, en el borde, on the edge, on the cusp of being a senior citizen, un anciano, with a taste for young women, que tiene un gusto para las señoritas jóvenes, falls in love. And I want you to be careful with this one. You don't know how many times I've heard students say, I felt in love. Nope, it's I fell, because it's it's fall, fell, fallen. Felt es el pasado de feel. And we don't say I feel in love. It's not common to say I feel in love. It's I fall in love every summer. I fell in love last summer. I've fallen in love only twice in my life. Just don't mix it up with the verb to feel. And I know they're related in some way too, right? You fall for somebody or you feel something. We say the same thing. Caí. I fell for her. All right. I fell for your joke. But just remember, fell is from fall. Fall, fell, fallen. So this swinger on the cusp of being a senior citizen with a taste for young women falls in love with an accomplished woman. So let's look at both of those words too. The plural, women. Say it with me. It's really important that you say these right. Women. ¿Qué dices? Women. And the other one, woman. Woman. Women, plural, with a taste for young women, falls in love with an accomplished woman closer to his age. And let's see if anybody got it over here. Yes, nice job. So with no namers. Awesome stuff, my amigos. All right, the movie is called Something's Got to Give. And do you know this? This is an expression. Something's got to give. I don't know how you would translate it into Spanish. Something's got to give means that things are building up. Las cosas están incrementándose. And something is going to break under pressure. So to give, en este caso, no es dar, sino colapsar. O sea, algo está a punto de caer aquí, right? Something's got to give, okay? It's used to say that someone or something has to stop trying to resist or oppose something, okay? So, perfect example. Me encanta los ejemplos. For the strike to be settled, para que se llegue a un acuerdo con the strike, ¿cómo se dice? Strike, lo sé la palabra también, pero no se me ocurre. El parón de trabajo, let's just say, because I can't remember the word, and I'm not going to look it up now. La huelga, that's it. So, for the strike to be settled, something has got to give. Uno tiene que ceder. Algo tiene que estamos en un punto muerto aquí. Entonces, si no, se cae todo. O sea, alguien tiene que ceder. Alguien tiene que dejar de resistir. Something's got to give. It's not just an idiomatic expression. It's a movie. And this movie came out. I'm sure the name in Spanish is different. And this movie came out in 2003. It stars Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton and also Keanu Reeves. What a cast. All right, let's take a look. Zoe, you say Zoe, we say Zoe. Zoe says, this is really fascinating. What's going on at this table? ¿Qué ocurre en esta mesa? Let's take you and Erica. You've been around the block a few times. Do you know this expression? If you say, I've been around the block a few times, tengo experiencia. No soy novato. He pasado esta manzana varias veces. So you've been around the block a few times. What are you, around 60? ¿Qué tienes? Alrededor de 60. 63? Fantastic. Never married. Which, as we know, if you were a woman, would be a curse, una maldición. You'd be an old maid, una vieja que nunca se casa. A spinster, alguien que está ahí un poco spinster. Es que esa palabra no se usa mucho. A ver lo que quieren decir realmente. I think of un tema. Solterona. It's dated. Pone anticuado. You can say an old maid. Spinster no se oye tanto. And blah, blah, blah pone. So instead of pitying you, tener piedad para ti, tener pena, que me das pena. So instead of pitying you, they write an article about you. And they celebrate you never marrying. You're elusive. You're ungettable. The word ungettable, they made up. It's unattainable. But we get it. Ungettable. A real catch. Un braguetazo. Folks, we've got to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with part 3 of today's show. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 3 of today's show with No Name. Our first week back of 2024. I hope it's gotten off to a good start for all of you amigos. I hope you are enjoying every minute of it and making it count. Well, I know you're making it count, because that's what you do. We've got a lot to do in this part of today's show. We're going to take a look at today's Double Trouble, although, wait a second. Did I say double trouble? Triple trouble. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Oh, really? Man. Triple trouble? Really? Yeah, really, guys. Because I know you can handle it. I know you can. So we've got a triple trouble to kick things off. We've also got to listen to our Say What soundbite. We've got some jokes, famous birthdays. Name that lyric. Man, we've got a lot of stuff to cover. And it doesn't end here. When this show's over today at 12:30, you can join Ximena Holiday and her program, Test Your English. After that, you've got the Lunchtime Show with Rob and Andy. Then Speak Up with Ruby. After that, you've got Jules Linares and Let's Get Random. Then you've got Dave Boys and The Salad. And Kyle Miller's Drive Time, and Frankly Speaking with Chris Frank. And folks, right now it's time for Triple Trouble. Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble. That's right, amigos. That's right. It is today's triple trouble. We'll see if you guys are able to figure it out. Good luck, my amigos. I don't think it's going to be an easy one. It's doable. but it's not an easy one. Okay? Oh, excuse me. Hey, wait a second. Maybe I'm trying to give you a little clue there. Could it be? Puede ser. Oh, come on. Really? Again? As if I didn't use that enough there. All right, well, here you go. Excuse me here. But I was trying to, the whole reason I was giving you that was to set you up for this. Today's triple trouble. So, el chico. I can't say it without laughing. See how mature I am? El chico se cagó encima 3 veces. Sus padres están reventados. They're extremely tired. Obviously, it's not fun. Y no son aguafiestas. So, there you go. El chico se cagó. I can't say it without laughing. Guys, I'm never going to be, I don't care how old I am, I'll always be immature. Hey, at least I admit it. At least I admit it. So, el chico se cagó encima 3 veces. Sus padres están reventados, cansadísimos, y no son aguafiestas. ¿Qué tiene que ver la Universidad de Oxford con Vaughan? Pues muchísimo. Es una alegría anunciar que Vaughan ha sido certificado como centro examinador de Oxford Test of English. A partir del próximo mes de marzo 2023, podrás hacer los exámenes de Oxford Test of English en los centros de Vaughan. Si quieres más información sobre esta iniciativa de Vaughan y Oxford, puedes ver más en nuestra página web, grupovaughan.com. O bien síguenos en redes sociales para más información. Oxford Test of English con Vaughan.
Brilliant.
That's right, amigos. All right, also, I've got to give you the Say What soundbite. Here it is for the 4th and final time.
It's like, what year is this? Here we go again, because we can. Love can build a bridge. Like Dolly told me, she's written about 1,000 songs. I've written 9 in my whole life. And I'm very blessed, very lucky that all of them were either number ones or at least an album cut.
All right, folks, there you go. That is the 4th and final listen of today's Say What soundbite. We're going to take a look at that in a little bit. So you just hold your horses. Para el carro, no? Hold your horses. All let's see what we've got. Let's see if anybody has figured out today's triple trouble. Oh, my goodness. All right, so let's see what we've got. El chico se cagó encima 3 veces. Hey, 3 veces. And 1 for good luck. All right, I'll stop. All right, el chico se cagó encima 3 veces. The boy pooped his pants. To poop your pants. Cagarse encima. The boy pooped his pants 3 times. Now, you can say thrice, but nobody says it. I'm telling you right now, nobody I know says thrice. Just think of Lionel Richie. You're once, twice, 3 times a lady. All right, amigos. So, el chico se cagó encima 3 veces. The boy pooped his pants 3 times. His parents, his folks, are pooped. To be pooped is to be extremely tired. So it's not the same to say I pooped than I'm pooped. So I pooped, you should go to the bathroom and wipe yourself. And you should talk to a doctor if you're an adult. Incontinence, hey, I'm not laughing at it. Maybe you have a problem. So the boy pooped his pants. Fíjate cómo me como la H. Is. He pooped his pants. Is. Because I don't say he pooped His, porque hay que respirar profundo para hacer esa H. ¿Qué pasa? Pues no es tan importante para nosotros. He pooped his pants. Dilo como yo. Eso da igual si eres del sur o del norte. He pooped his pants. He pooped his pants. And we would say he pooped his pants. Pero la H desaparece en ambos casos. Estamos muy sureños hoy, ¿eh? So the boy pooped his pants 3 times. His parents are pooped. Cansadísimos, reventados. And they aren't party poopers. And party poopers are agua fiesta. So great job, everybody who figured it out. Show with no namers. Wonderful job. That was a triple trouble today. And you guys rose to the challenge as you always do. All right, let's see what else we've got to do right now. Oh, cool. It's time for You're Joking.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar.
You're joking. That's right, amigos. You're joking only on the show with no name. Let's take a look at today's jokes and let's see if you guys get them. As always, if you get them, you can explain it to me and your classmates. If not, I will explain it afterwards. Remember, whatever we open on this show, we solve it. We close it. So even if you're listening to the podcast, you're never going to be like, what was the answer? I always give it to you. Because I know a lot of people, most people who listen to this show don't tune in live. Well, it's 10:30. Some people, it's a tough time. So I know many of you listen to the show from the night before. You listen to it in the morning. There's no wrong time. Maybe you even listen to it on the toilet. What do you think? I don't get things done on the toilet. And if you say that you don't, well, you are a liar. All right. I had to do it again, didn't I? All right. So the bartender, our first joke, bartender, typical joke with a bar and a bartender. You say barman. We don't say barman. We normally say bartender. And that's good because it's for female or male. So the bartender says, man, you look awful. Terrible. You look awful. What's up? ¿Qué ocurre? Man, you look awful. What's up? Says the bartender. And the toilet paper answered, nothing really. I'm just wiped. I'm just wiped. Hey, we just looked at the word pooped. Means the same thing. Why do we have so many words that have to do with being tired in the bathroom? This is weird. You get it? I'm wiped. Well, what do you do when you go to the bathroom? I just said it. You got to wipe your coolie. Well, we say your bottom, your ass, your butt. Ass no lo decimos con niños. Your butt or your bottom. Right? We say coolie too. I've heard a lot of people say your coolie. Right? So, your bottom, your backside. You get it? You wipe with toilet paper, you wipe your butt, right? I hope you do. Okay. Or maybe you have a bidet. I'm not interested. It's TMI. Too much information. But also to be wiped means to be tired as well. So you get it now? The bartender said, man, you look awful. What's up? And the toilet paper said, nothing really. I'm just wiped. You can say wiped or wiped out. Pero wiped, we don't say wiped out para el baño. So para decir cansado, you can say wiped, I'm wiped, or I'm wiped out. But if you go to the bathroom, I ask Lara, did you wipe? Did you wipe good? Limpiaste bien, wipe. Es un verbo regular. All right, the next one. There are 2 reasons you shouldn't drink from a toilet. Number 1 and number 2. No. There are 2 reasons you shouldn't drink from a toilet. Number 1 and number 2. No. Number 1 and number 2. Well, number 1 means you have to go pee-pees, and number 2 means poopies. right? So when kids are learning to use the bathroom, when they're potty training, again, there we go again. How mature. When kids are potty training, aprendiendo a ir al baño, potty is another way of saying the bathroom. Do you have to go to the potty? Number one or number two? Number one is that you have to urinate. You have to pee. Number two is you got to go poopy. So you get it now? I think it's hysterical because it's just a short and sweet, boom, the punchline hits you and it's beautiful. There are two reasons you shouldn't drink from a toilet. Number one and number two. All right. One more. No, two more. Doctor, I think I have a bladder infection. Bladder is vejiga. Doctor, I think I have a bladder infection. And the doctor answers, I see you're in trouble. I see you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Urine, orina, urine. I had to do it. I had to. I can't help it. No lo puedo evitar. I'm that mature. So, doctor, I think I have a bladder infection, una infección en la vejiga. And the doctor says, I see you're in trouble. Urine, orina, urine, trouble. Estás en líos. All right, last one. What did one toilet say to the other? You look a little flushed. No? Well, if you're blushing, we can say that you look flushed. You're turning red, sonrojarse, to blush. Also, you look, man, are you blushing? You look flushed. So it's interesting. We use one more as a verb. You're blushing, aren't you? You look flushed, sonrojado, enrojecido, flushed. But also to flush something down the toilet es tirar de la cadena. All right, folks, it's time to move on to famous birthday trivia.
Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
Yeah, it's famous birthdays. Oh, and I forgot one. Please be neat and wipe the seat or lift the seat. Well, if you lift the seat, you don't have to wipe it, right? Rule number one. Please be neat and lift the seat, or please be neat and wipe the seat. Again, if you go with the first one, it's better. All right, well, let's take a look here. Enough of this sophomoric talk. Sophomoric is a way of saying inmaduro. It's the key word today. All right, let's see if you know whose birthday it is today. Today, in 1972, an American actress and playwright was born. She was in the movie The Whole 9 Yards with Bruce Willis and many other amazing actors. A funny movie. She was also in Saving Silverman. Oh, I love that movie. It's a really good one, too. She was in Something's Got to Give. Hey, wait, that was today's Name That Movie. Also in The X-Files, I Want to Believe, Gulliver's Travels, Identity Thief, and so much more. But I remember seeing her in The Whole 9 Yards. But she was in a movie before that called Animal Room in 1995. I have to be honest, I haven't seen that one or heard of it. But The Whole 9 Yards is great. And Saving Silverman is awesome too. The whole premise of the movie is they're trying to get this kid to go to a Kiss concert, un concierto de Kiss, and his mother grounded him. Y le castigó. I'm sure it has another name. In English, it's Saving Silverman. Is it yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a Kiss. Maybe am I mixing it up here? Let me take a look here. Now I'm mixing up my movies here. It's a great movie. I highly recommend it. Saving Silverman. Yeah. Okay, to keep their damn from. Oh, no. Okay, I'm thinking of a different one. I was thinking of Detroit Rock City. Saving Silverman is two guys are huge Neil Diamond fans. They're coming to America. It's a great movie. It is a really good movie as well. And she plays the evil girlfriend. All right, next, this person is probably one of the most amazing singers alive right now. They call her the queen of hip-hop soul, the queen of R&B. She's won 9 Grammy Awards, a Primetime Emmy Award, and so much more. Her debut album was called What's the 411? What's the 411? Es Cuéntame la historia, la información. What's the 411? It's awesome. It is a classic hip-hop album. And some of her songs you might know is Real Love, I'm searching for a real love, someone to set my heart free, real love. And also To Be Without You, Family Affair. That has got one of the coolest beats in any song. You want to get pumped up, put on the song Family Affair by the queen of hip-hop soul. And last but not least, this American singer, songwriter, and actress was, because she passed in 2022, was an American country music singer and actress. She and her daughter, Winona, formed a duo known as the It's their last name. And she has won 5 Grammy Awards, one of the most successful country music acts out there. Oh, and it's not Dolly Parton. All right. Just to let you know. Also, her daughter, Ashley, her second daughter, is an actress who you've seen probably in many movies as well. All right. Let's see if anybody knows our famous birthdays. Number 1, actress Amanda Peet. Number 2, the queen of hip-hop soul, Mary J. Blige, or as we call her, Mary J. Do yourself a favor and listen to just go for her greatest hits. I know you can go to Spotify and just go Mary J. Blige, greatest hits, and just put on your headphones and get ready for pure ecstasy. And last but not least, Naomi Judd. Naomi Judd and her and Winona, her daughter Winona, were the Judds. I remember them very well. And Ashley Judd, who you've probably seen in many movies. And that'll bring us over to today's Say What soundbite. This is Naomi Judd, and she's talking about country music. And she says, it's like, what year is this? Here we go again. So she's saying, I can't believe I'm still making music. It's like, what year is this? Because she was pretty old at this time. Here we go again, she says. Because we can. Porque podemos. Porque todavía tenemos la energía. Love can build a bridge. It's not just an idiomatic expression, but it's the name of the album she was promoting. Love can build a bridge. And she says, Dolly told me she's written like 1,000 songs. Dolly Parton, the one and only, que ha escrito como 1,000 canciones. I've written 9 in my whole life. He escrito solo 9 en toda mi vida. And I'm very blessed, muy bendecida, muy afortunada, very lucky that all of them were either number 1s or at least an album cut, que salieron en un album. So here's country singer Naomi Judd.
It's like, what year is this? Here we go again, because we can. Love can build a bridge. Like Dolly told me, she's written about 1,000 songs. I've written 9 in my whole life. And I'm very blessed, very lucky that all of them were either number 1s or at least an album cut.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is. No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. Name that lyric only on the show with no name, The show with no name. The show with no name. It's Name That Lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's Name That Lyric only on the show with no name. Let's take a look at what we've got for today's Name That Lyric. And today this is a great one. So here we go. We are lovers through and through. Do you know this one? Through and through. A ver cómo se dice en español. De cabeza a los pies. De principio a fin. Through and through. Eso puede ser un double trouble un día. We are lovers through and through, de principio a final. And though we made it through the storm, oh my God, there's really a storm theme going on. And a shit theme, a shit storm. Bueno, we're going back to where it started here. And she says, and though we made it through the storm, que hemos aprendido to weather the storm, I really want you to realize, quiero que te des cuenta. I really want to put you on, te quiero poner. I've been searching for someone to satisfy my every need. Estoy buscando a alguien para satisfacer todas mis necesidades. Whoa, Mary J. This is Mary J. Blige, and it's Real Love. I was singing it before. Real love, I'm searching for a real love. Someone to set my heart free, real love. And this is a beautiful song. I hope you guys will sing it with me. We're going to go to a quick commercial break right now. Just Google Mary J. Blige, Real Love, and we'll sing it together. And as I highly recommend, you should listen to her other songs as well, because she is, they don't call her the queen of hip-hop soul for nothing. So, folks, we are going to go to a quick commercial break right now, and we'll be right back with part 4 of today's show. So, stick around, stick around, stick around, stick around. Hello, amigos. Welcome back. Welcome back to part 4 of today's show with no name. I hope you guys are having fun. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. And I hope you're ready for more learning and laughing here on today's show. Great job, by the way. Great job to all our show with no namers. Kicking butt. We have really started the year off on the right foot, amigos. I'm really proud of you guys. Keep up the great work, and we'll weather the storm together. Whatever storm may come, may it be a shitstorm. We'll deal with it together, right? That's what I'm saying, folks. All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. So much to do. And in this part of today's show, to celebrate the fact that the Grand Canyon was created today. in the year 1908. Man, it's a long time ago. Somebody do the math over there. Well, as I told you before, the bonus episode of FYI on the Grand Canyon isn't available to everyone, only people in my curious community. And today, as it's a special occasion, it's available to all my Show with No Namers. So please enjoy the bonus episode of today's FYI on the Grand Canyon. Hello, and welcome to the bonus episode of today's FYI on the Grand Canyon. If you've been there, then you know that this place is absolutely awe-inspiring. It will take your breath away. Dun, 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 dun. Take your breath away. Hey, it's an easy way to remember breathtaking. And I was due for a song. Me tocaba una canción. Let's take a look at some of the fauna and wildlife at the Grand Canyon. There are approximately 1,737 known species of vascular plants. And careful with that word, species. Species are different kinds of animals, and spices are things you'll find in your kitchen. I mix those words up in Spanish. Then you've got 167 species of fungi. Fungi? Tío divertido? What? No, fungus. Well, the plural is fungi. We're talking about mushrooms here. There are also 64 different species of moss, including Kate moss. All right, I'll stop. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Because the park spans so many different sea levels, you'll find all kinds of different fauna depending on what level you're at. It'll look like a totally different park. So the Grand Canyon can be so many different parks depending on what part you're exploring. I mean, just think of the elevation change, 2,400 meters. You're going to get different plants and animals at the bottom than you're going to get at the top. We already talked about the wide range of temperatures there are on the same day at the same time. So I guess these are called microclimates. I'm not a meteorologist, obviously, but I find this stuff fascinating. There are also a dozen endemic plants, and I didn't know what that meant, but that means plants that are only known within the park. Then there are 90 mammal species, and a mammal, that's us, mamíferos. 18 of those mammals are rodents, and rodents, I think you say roedores. 22 are bats. So there are 22 different types of bats at the Grand Canyon. That's batty. Batty means crazy. Hey, it might have been a bad joke, but hopefully you learned that adjective. All right, now I'm going to ask you guys, how many different species of birds do you think there are in the Grand Canyon? Answer using a full sentence. This way we're practicing there are, and we're practicing the pronunciation of species. There are 250 species of birds, 25 types of reptiles, which are my least favorite, by the way, and 5 species of amphibians. And here's a little trivia question for you. What do you think the most dangerous animal in the canyon is? I know what you're thinking. You're thinking rattlesnakes or coyotes. No, but the canyon is home to pink snakes. The Grand Canyon pink rattlesnake is only found in the Grand Canyon, and it is one of the 6 rattlesnake species that live within the park. And the reason the snakes are pink is because they love Barbie. No, I'm just kidding. It's because they blend in with the rocks around them. They're almost like chameleons. But no, it's not pink snakes. It's not coyotes. It's not even the wolf. It's the rock squirrel. And what they say is that visitors are most often bitten by this humble little squirrel. And be careful with that word. A squirrel es una ardilla gris. It's a gray one. A chipmunk is the one with stripes, like Alvin, Simon, and Theodore. So those little buggers, those little rock squirrels, I'd be watching out for snakes the whole time. I would never imagine a squirrel biting me. Oh, and there's a verb. To squirrel away means to hide or to save. Well, that's what squirrels do. They put away or save acorns for the winter. There are also Gila monsters and bighorn sheep and everything you can imagine under the sun. The canyon is also full of fossils. Now, how many of those do you think are from dinosaurs? Did you say zero, zilch, nada? That's right, none. Supposedly, it's because the canyon layers, not layers, I've heard people mispronounce this word, the canyon layers were formed long before dinosaurs walked the earth. However, they have found fossils of ancient marine animals, some that date back to 1.2 billion years ago. That's a number I can't even fathom. Have you ever heard of life zones? Well, here's something I didn't know about. As I said, I always like to learn something in every episode as well. And on this planet, there are 7 life zones. Well, 5 of those 7 life zones can be found in the Grand Canyon. You have the lower Sonoran, the upper Sonoran, Transition, Canadian, and Hudsonian. This is the equivalent of traveling from Mexico to Canada. And that's due to the differences in elevation, the variations in climate, and many other factors. But I didn't know about those life zones. And as with everything, there's a dark side, my amigos. In 1956, the Grand Canyon was the site of the deadliest commercial aviation disaster in history at that time. It was the morning of June 30th, 1956. A TWA Lockheed Super Constellation, or a Connie as they call it, and a United Airlines Douglas DC-7 departed Los Angeles International Airport within 3 minutes of one another on eastbound transcontinental flights. And eastbound means moving east. If you are westbound, you are moving west. You'll see it in the subway in New York City. This is a Bronx-bound A train. That means con rumbo a. And approximately 90 minutes into the flight, the 2 propeller-driven airliners collided above the canyon while both were flying in unmonitored airspace. The wreckage of both planes fell into the eastern portion of the canyon. The disaster killed all 128 passengers and crew members on board both planes. The accident also led to the institution of high-altitude airways, these highways in the sky, and also to direct radar observation of aircraft by en route ground controllers. This is now known as positive control. This also led to the creation of the FAA. This is the board that regulates the aviation industry in the United States. Unfortunately, it wasn't the only mid-air collision over the Grand Canyon. There was another one on June 18th, 1986. It was a twin otter, a plane, which collided with a Bell 206 helicopter. All 25 passengers and crew on board were killed. So the place does not escape tragedy. But think about it. It's nature. It's nature at its biggest and boldest. And if you're going to fight man versus nature, we already know who's going to win that battle. How many stories have we heard about people who have had to be rescued because they went hiking and it got too cold, or it got too late, or they got lost, or they didn't bring enough food? So we're going to look at some tips a little bit later on so you avoid any of those mistakes. You don't want to be one of those statistics or one of those Wikipedia pages. Obviously, airplane deaths are not the only deaths that occur at the Grand Canyon. Between the mid-1800s and 2015, there have been around 770 deaths. Some of them were falls. Others were environmental causes, such as heat stroke or cardiac arrest, dehydration, hypothermia, and don't forget about flash floods. Also, many drowned in the Colorado River. Some even died in freak accidents. And freak accidents means unexpected, like a rock slide or something like that, or a lightning strike. And around 20 people were victims of homicides. Imagine that. You're going to the Grand Canyon to have a nice week with your family in nature, and somebody shoots you. Hey, it could happen. It happened to 23 different people. Speaking of death, the Hopi tribe considers the Grand Canyon a gateway to the afterlife. That's right. The tribe has always placed great spiritual significance on the site. They believe that when you die, a person passes westward through what they call a place of emergence. And this is located upstream from the confluence of the Colorado and Little Colorado rivers, which are both in the canyon. And they believe people pass through this gateway on their journey to the afterlife. Hey, it looks like an amazing gateway if you ask me. I know we always talk about St. Peter and the gates of heaven, the pearly gates, but imagine if heaven looked like the Grand Canyon. Wow. And the Hopi tribe is just one of the 5 tribes who call the Grand Canyon home. You have the Hopi, the Navajo, the Havasupai, the Paiute, and the Hualapai. And there's even a little town down inside the canyon. The population is 208 people. It's called Supai Village, and it is the most remote community in the continental U.S. Earlier, we talked about caves as well. So I imagine if you're into spelunking, then this is the place for you. Well, no, not really. And I'll explain why. There are an estimated 1,000 caves within the canyon. Great. So what's the problem? Well, only 335 of those have been recorded, and only one of those is open to the public. So if spelunking is your thing, maybe the Grand Canyon isn't your national park. But it must be really frustrating to be there and that be your thing, and then you realize there are caves everywhere, but I just can't get to them. Also, I told you the Grand Canyon is probably the most famous canyon in the world, but it's not the world's deepest canyon. And depending on how the depth of the gorge is measured, it actually comes behind the Cotahuasi Canyon in Peru and the Kali Kandaki Gorge in Nepal. Hey, why has Nepal always got the tallest and deepest things? By the way, if you haven't listened to the episode on Mount Everest, give it a listen. Another funny story here. In 1909, the canyon was the site of a giant hoax. Do you remember this word? A hoax is a big scam when you deceive a lot of people at the same time. And what happened was the Arizona Gazette, which was a local newspaper, reported that archaeologists had discovered traces of an ancient Tibetan or Egyptian, they weren't sure, Tibetan or Egyptian civilization in an underground tunnel in the canyon. The Smithsonian Institute looked into this, and they denied the entire story. They claimed that they had no knowledge of these archaeologists. But to this day, there are conspiracy theories out there that say that there was an ancient civilization that lived there, and now the government has covered it up. Hey, I don't know what to believe, but I think the Grand Canyon is interesting enough without the conspiracy theories. And aside from the thriving tourism and amazing adventure industry, there's another thriving business in the park as well. I'm talking about Kolb Studio. Kolb Studio, which in 1906 was set up by brothers Ellsworth and Emery Kolb. And they decided to set up a photo studio when they realized that a photography business might be a good opportunity in that area, that they could make a killing. And what they did is they would take pictures of the tourists as they were departing to explore the Grand Canyon, as they embarked on their journey to the bottom. And they took these really amazing pictures of people with the Grand Canyon as a backdrop, as they were sitting on a mule. And since they knew that these people were going to be a while, they were going to be exploring the canyon, well, they would take those reels back to their studio and develop the film. And then they would make prints of it. And when the tourists were coming back from their adventure through the canyon, they saw these awesome pictures of themselves. And of course, many people said, "How much?" Yes, I'll take 2. And to this day, you can still get your picture taken by Kolb Studio. I know selfies have become more popular, but I think it's more about the nostalgia and supporting a business that was started by 2 brothers in 1906 because they saw an opportunity. They captured people's memories and they made a quick buck. As I told you guys, I've been to the Grand Canyon and there are no words to express how I felt. When I was sitting there on the edge, looking at it, it just seemed endless. It gives you the same feeling you feel when you look into space and you look up at the sky. It's just vast. It makes you feel like the possibilities are endless in life. It's inspirational. And so many people, artists, photographers alike, have been inspired by this amazing American treasure. But I will never forget that moment. It is frozen in my brain. When I got out of the car, I walked over to the edge and I sat there on the edge of the Grand Canyon. Here are some top tips, and I got these right from the American National Park Service. Number 1, know before you go. That means do your research, do your homework. As we said before, especially if you're going to the North Rim, there are temporary road closures. So make sure you know before you go. Number 2, know where you're going to spend the night. Don't rough it. No lo dejas a la aventura. Reserve a place to stay. There are many campgrounds with all the facilities of home. Also, number 3, pack your patience. You can expect crowds and traffic. You aren't the only one who wants to see the Grand Canyon. So be patient. Take a deep breath. Take in the beautiful views. Okay, I added that last part. Number 4, drive responsibly. It's hard to park, especially if you have an RV. So respect all the signs on the road. You wouldn't want to run over a deer or a child, even worse. Number 5, free South Rim shuttle bus routes are in operation. So if you feel like taking a bus, you can take the bus and leave the car behind. Number 6, pets are not allowed below the canyon rim. So they are allowed in the park, but they cannot go down into the canyon. Number 7, keep wildlife wild. Never approach or feed squirrels, deer, elk, or bison. Number 8, backcountry permits are required for all overnight trips into the Grand Canyon. And as we said before, get them in advance. Number 9, summer hikers should be prepared for severe heat and elevation changes. And number 10, which I think is a bit of common sense, protect yourself and others. To be honest, I can't wait to return, but I'll wait till my daughter's a little bit older and she can appreciate it. But that's definitely a pending trip we have. Not just the Grand Canyon, but many national parks in the United States. And by the way, if you haven't listened to the episode on national parks, give it a listen. I don't want to beat around the bush, but now it's time to take a look at some idiomatic expressions. Oops, there's the first one. To beat around the bush. It means to not go to the point. You say something similar in Spanish. Andar por las ramas. And don't worry if you're on edge. And be careful because that's different than being on the edge. So if you're on the edge, you're like me at the Grand Canyon. Estás en el borde. But if you're on edge without the article, it means you're nervous. You can also say he's edgy. Also, an edge is an advantage. If you learn English with me, you will have a competitive edge. You'll know all these cool idiomatic expressions. And many of you already know the word edge. I'm just giving you some other uses, especially if you're U2 fans. Isn't the guitarist or the bassist named The Edge? But I guess that's water under the bridge. What? Well, it's very similar to your expression in Spanish, agua pasada. We say water under the bridge, agua que ha pasado por debajo del puente. So just go with the flow. Don't go against the grain. Go with the flow, which is déjate llevar. Has to do with rivers, right? The flow of a river. And if you don't like that, well then, cry me a river, cry me a river. That means go ahead, cry all you want. I don't care. When you tell somebody, cry me a river, you're telling them, I have zero pity for you. But don't send them up the river. To send somebody up the river is to send them to prison. I imagine it comes from New York City. Most of the prisons are up the Hudson River. So if they send you up the river, they're sending you to prison. But just be careful. You don't want to be up Schitt's Creek. And a creek is a little river, a creek or a brook. And there's actually a TV show called Schitt's Creek. Well, the expression is, I'm up Schitt's Creek. That means I'm in a really bad situation. If we want to add emphasis, we say, I'm up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, sin remo. I guess it's another way of saying you're in deep water. Estás en muchos líos, en problemas gordos. Maybe it's because you're a late bloomer. A late bloomer? Well, to bloom, that's what flowers and plants do. But a late bloomer is somebody who catches on to something a little bit late. So everybody got on social media. Not me. I was a late bloomer. I joined many years later. I finally caved in. And there's another idiomatic expression. To cave in, to say, okay, all right, we'll do it. I think it's ceder in Spanish. But before I take a hike, and to take a hike is hacer senderismo o irse. In fact, if you tell somebody, take a hike, you're telling them get lost. But before I take a hike, I need to look at a few other expressions. I want to nip them in the bud. And to nip something in the bud comes from gardening. If you remember, we probably looked at that one in the gardening episode. I think you say cortar por la raíz. Well, hey, you can use that expression next time you're in my neck of the woods. My neck of the woods means my area. But you'll need many other expressions to be out of the woods. What? Well, if you're out of the woods, it means you're clear. No more problems. It's smooth sailing from here. Wow, that was really difficult, but now we're out of the woods. Another one that has to do with woods and forests is you can't see the forest for the trees. And this means we have to look at the big picture. We need perspective. And with that one, we will wrap today's episodes of FYI. I hope you guys learned a lot. I hope I took you there, at least in your mind. And I hope you'll join us in next week's episodes of FYI.